Hi, I'm Tracey Hanbury, one of the directors here at the National Landlord Investment Show. I'm joined today by Ian Collin, who's a very familiar face, certainly in our house. He's always on the TV and always talking. So it's actually lovely to be able to welcome you to the show today,
Pleasure.
Ian. And and for a chance, somebody's interviewing you. It's changed.
Yeah.
So that's
it's all right,
great.
isn't it? Sit back and enjoy it.
So the purpose, obviously, of today, we're here on the 14th of March, back at Old Billingsgate, which is our London home, for the show, which has been absolutely mobbed since we've opened the doors, basically. Ian actually was headlining our main sort of auditorium, main talk this morning, opening talk, which was inflation, regulation, taxation and more. On that panel debate, we had Chris Bailey from the Bailey Group, we had Paul Champolina from Landlord Action and Total Landlord Insurance, Paul Mahoney from Nova, and Marie Paris from George Ellis Property Services. So it was a really, really good debate, Ian. It was very lively. I mean, do you want to talk us through some of the issues that were covered today, and what was?
I thought it was. I mean, this is fascinating to people in the property industry, even sort of casual observers as well, because the theme of this, of course, is what does 2023 look like for the property industry. There's lots happening. We know about the inflation rate. We know about taxation. There's a budget taking place tomorrow as we record this. So there's bound to be more legislation in the small print there as well. So what we had there was a panel of the absolute best experts, really, from very much connected fields, but also nuanced areas, and they differ substantially enough to get a real broad idea of how the industry is feeling. And I think what came from this, like any area of the economy, it's a lack of confidence is the big enemy. Once a lack of confidence sets in, it has a compounding effect. And there was such positivity from our panelists there today. And I think most of them said, yep, there is a little bit of a blip. There's a bump in the road in the property and investment market. But all of them, I think, were supremely realistic in saying, do you know what, this is something we circumnavigate. We've been here before. These kind of little blips take different forms, but this is one of them. We'll get around it. And in fact, interest rates are still lower than average. It's just that we've all got used to them being super low. Inflation will come down. Things will recalibrate. And the positivity from people, and when these people speak, the kind of people we had on the panel, when these guys say, actually, we're okay, we think this is all right, then you start to think, well, these are the people, these are the voices I listen to, because at this show, you have the best voices in the land. These are the most qualified people in this industry. So when these guys say, do you know what, keep calm and carry on, you need to listen. Yeah, no,
I totally agree. I mean, it was quite interesting, sort of getting landlords' sort of responses as well, and some of the issues that they're facing. But there was one guy in the audience who'd been a landlord for 52 years, which I'd love to have a chat with him actually. And and he was sort of saying, he really was. He brought a lot of positivity to say, look, it's to be a professional landlord. You should be looking at it as running it as a business long term. It's not a quick fix. You've got to be in it and sustain it for quite a long time. And he's luckily at the age now where he can actually, maybe offload some of his portfolio and sit back and relax. So I think, there was elements of real positivity, but also, to get that message across, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Correct.
And I think, some people can make that mistake or think that it's going to be overnight. And it's like anything, you've just got to build that for every eventuality that could possibly happen. But I thought he was really interesting.
He was amazing. It was like meeting the Archbishop of Landlords. Because the minute he said 52 years he'd been a landlord, there was kind of a clear feeling, a real sense of bubbling of respect for this man. Wow, we've actually met the main man. This is like the guy that he's seen it all. He's been through all the different governments, the legislation, and his message was, it was just really clear. You've got to, this isn't something you get for free. It's not meant to be a free anything. You still have to work at it. And I think he was sort of. He was making the point that some people think it is just here's a property, rent it out, trouser the money and go and live in the Bahamas, and it doesn't work like that. This is a job, it's a profession. You got to do it properly. Don't get too greedy with one of his messages in there as well. And as you rightly say, Tracey, he got to that point where he thought, he's 52 years, I'll offload a little bit of the portfolio, I'll have that Caribbean trip, and but just remember, everybody, it's not an industry that is a bad one to be in, was his point. And I think if you've been there 52 years, that's also somebody worth listening to.
That's a lot of staying power, isn't it? I mean, I think the other quite important thing is obviously, that landlords can get such a bad press and such a bad, and it's not saying that every landlord's perfect, because they're certainly not. But what makes me really proud of our business is that, over 3,500 people have registered to come here today as a landlord. So that means those 3,500 people are taking the time out to educate themselves, to learn how to be better landlords. And I think that's a really positive thing when you see people coming out in their droves today to get, help run their business on a more professional basis.
I tell you what's interesting, it's not just people who've come from all over the country, all over the world as well. I've met Americans, a guy from Bangladesh, another guy from Canada. People have literally travelled. I mean, this is the biggest show of its kind, and everybody you want to talk to or should talk to is at this show. That's the point, I think. So every area from taxation to insurance, whether it's an issue surrounding the legality or EPC ratings, whatever it happens to be, someone is in this room right now that can help. So it's without doubt the best place, not just for information, education, that kind of thing, but in terms of making contacts and business and that, all of that, it's absolutely huge. I mean, there's everything you would ever need to know about this industry, literally kind of under one roof.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice because obviously sometimes being a landlord can be quite a lonely journey. You're often working on your own. So you see people here now, this is our 10th year this year, which is incredible. But it's so lovely. I see so many familiar faces, and then people are swapping numbers, and but it's been great. But I think the real thing to take from that panel debate today was, it's not all doom and gloom. There is some
real positivity.
And it's sort of buckle up. Let's just, we've been through the last few years. The world's just been through, so much, hasn't it? And and I think we can ride the storm and keep it going, guys. So, Ian, would you like to add anything else? Are we?
No, well, I can't wait for the next one. I mean, it was genuinely, and when you look at the turnout, as you say, thousands of people registering to come to this. Just, if anybody wants to tell you that property and investment is in reverse, then they are very wrong about that, quite clearly, demonstrably wrong, just in terms of the numbers, the organisations, and what the business is doing. So, little blip in the road, little bump for 2023, but I think people are coming well and truly out the other side now.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to have you here today, and really appreciate it. And we hope if you guys didn't get a chance to actually watch the debate, then it will be available on the website, which is all the W's, landlordinvestmentshow.co.uk, and we'll see you again soon.